Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review, and today we are featuring Marvel Mech Strike Monster Hunters Doctor Doom. Okay, so if you remember from my previous videos last year, the Avengers Mech Strike was probably one of my favorite toy lines in 2021. I thought that was an amazing toy line altogether. The price point was great, the quality of the figures was awesome. I loved the deluxe figures with the mech suits, and I don't know, everything about the line was just fantastic. Uh, Now, when Marvel and Hasbro kind of sent out the promotional photos of the Monster Hunters line last year, I was kind of hesitant. It looked a little bit too alien for me. You know, it seemed like they kind of strayed very far from what I was used to. But when I was out today, I saw this at my local Walmart, and I couldn't say no to some of the figures. You know, Doctor Doom especially. Doctor Doom did not have a figure last year, so for me this was kind of cool. And me being a big Doctor Doom fan, I had to grab this guy. So previously I've reviewed Captain America and Thor from the Monster Hunter line. Go check those videos out. The Captain America figure is awesome. He reuses some pieces from last year's figure, the arms and the legs. But for the most part, I think the figure overall is really well crafted, and the detailing is nice, and it's just a wonderful figure all around. The Thor figure was slightly disappointing. It has some limited articulation in the arms, which was, you know, kind of bummed me out. And the size of the figure was kind of an issue also. Normally, I'm not too big into scale, but the Thor figure was shorter than Captain America, and I kind of felt like he needed a little bit more mass and size to him. But with Doctor Doom, there is no figure from last year to compare him to, so this is going to be a new Doom figure right off the bat. So let's get started. Very unique illustration and portrayal of Doctor Doom over here in the corner. He kind of really adopts that Monster Hunter theme. He has the shield with the monster eye. And the monster eye is something that we're seeing carried throughout all the action figures. You know, Captain America has the monster eye, Thor has the monster eye. And as you can see here, Doctor Doom has it on his shield and also on his chest. On the back of the box, you know, here are all the Marvel heroes kind of like monsterfied. You know, we have Loki, Doom, Thanos. We have Thor, Spidey, Hulk, Cap, Black Panther, and Iron Man. Alright, so I said this previously in my review of Thor. One of the draws for me with the Monster Hunter line is that there's something about this toy line that feels very like Masters of the Universe like. Like immediately when I first saw the figures, my first thought was these figures look very alien, they look very strange, they almost look like Power Rangers. But some of these figures, there's something about the quality and their design that this kind of evokes a very like He-Man or Skeletor or like Masters of the Universe kind of feel. Like for example, the shield here, Doctor Doom's shield. This looks like it could easily be an accessory for a Masters of the Universe figure. You know, this, you know, you color this orange, and immediately it looks like something that should belong to like Beastman. You know, especially like with these crazy vines and the spikes and the monster eye. It's a very like Masters of the Universe aesthetic. Likewise, you know, just looking at Doctor Doom here, especially like with the hood over his head, you know, for me that kind of evokes a very like Skeletor kind of vibe, especially with the shoulder pads and the body armor. And it's really wild looking. If you're very accustomed to like the iconic version of Doctor Doom, this figure is gonna like really throw you off. It's very strange, it's very unique. But it's also really well executed. I think it's well done. As I'm handling this figure, I'm really appreciating all the detail and work that went into designing this guy. I think he looks fantastic. For me, already he's better than Thor, but at the same time, I'm noticing that his articulation's a little bit limited also. And we'll talk about that in a moment or so. Alright, let's examine him up close. As you can see, a very cool looking Doctor Doom face. The mask, it's kind of hard, it's kind of weird to say this, but his mask and face look a little bit more on the youthful side. Like, this doesn't kind of have the age or experience in the face like you'd expect from Doctor Doom. I think with the thinner nose bridge and then the larger eyes and with the cheeks the way they are, it makes it look like a younger version of Doctor Doom. Of course, this is Doom, wearing a mask, but there's something about this that conveys like a much more youthful quality about the character. And then you get the monster eye with gold trim. The back of his hood is very interesting. There's all these kind of like spikes protruding from the back. And as you can see, there's a socket here for his shield. This is very like Masters of the Universe too. You kind of see his toes. Yeah, so it's a pretty solid figure overall. Articulation wise, his head, does it rotate? It doesn't want to rotate, and that's because of the hood. The hood kind of reaches too far down, and it's kind of caught in this groove here. So you're not going to get any like a whole lot of range of motion out of this. His arms rotate, and this is where it's bothering me, because on last year's Avengers Mech Strike figure, there was additional articulation because the arms can actually go outward. For example, here is Monster Hunter Captain America. And Monster Hunter Captain America makes reuse of last year's arms from the solo release figure. And his arms not only rotate, but they also go outward like that. Unfortunately, Doctor Doom just rotates. His arms can't go outward. So for me, that's kind of like, a point deducted from the figure. His elbows bend. They swivel. There is no waist articulation, and his legs, they kick out, but... Alright, so they kick out about that far. And will they... Yeah, they'll also kick out to the side, which is nice. The Thor figure had that articulation, but... Let me grab him. Here's Monster Hunter Thor. Now, he also has that leg articulation where he could kick out, like this. But unfortunately, he has these armor plates on his hips, and that prevents his legs from going out all the way. And then Doctor Doom, his knees, they bend and swivel. And here's his shield. You can plug his shield into his forearm in that socket right there. But it's almost kind of pointless because he has all these tall spikes and they get in the way, so you can't really plug it in. Oh, no, I take it back. You can plug it in deep enough. So that's a pretty cool look. Yeah, so, the more I'm looking at these figures, it's kind of like, I'm not sure about the scale. Just give me a moment. I'm going to see if I could grab a He-Man figure real quick. Alright, so it's kind of a stretch, but I'm going to say if you wanted to, you could possibly blend, these two universes together. This figure is much smaller than a Marvel Legends, but it's kind of almost in the same scale as He-Man. So for me, that's kind of a plus. Especially with the aesthetic of these action figures. So here's Monster Hunter Thor's Mjolnir hammer, and if you look at it, this is easily something that you could give He-Man. It fits He-Man perfectly. So yeah, I'm really starting to warm up to this line now. Despite the fact that the articulation is kind of limited with Doctor Doom and Thor, with this crazy monster theme, I think it works really well. Especially if you want to, like, if you have a child that's into He-Man and, you know, the Marvel superheroes, you know, go ahead, you know, mix the universes together. You know, if you always wanted He-Man to fight Doctor Doom, or if you wanted Doctor Doom to team up with Skeletor, you know, now is a better time than any. Especially with the way these characters look. They look like they'd fit into, like, the Masters of the Universe. So yeah, I think this is a great figure. All right, on a scale of 1 to 10, this guy's a solid 7. Unfortunately, you know, I would rate him higher, but because he's missing the articulation that goes outward like this, I feel it kind of hurts the figure. It's almost like a step backwards. You know, last year, you know, these figures, they gave us so much, and now that we're paying a little bit more for these figures and they're taking away some of the articulation, it's going to hurt the figure a little. I do think it's a quality line of toys. It's just the price point. You know, you're paying a couple dollars more than what we did last year, but I think with this crazy monster theme, it's pretty fun, and it's definitely a unique take on these, you know, much beloved superheroes. So yeah, He-Man and Doctor Doom, you know, that they can now go face to face and go at it. Or if you want Doom to team up with Skeletor, go ahead. You know, sky's the limit. Alright, so let's wrap this video up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you so much for your continued support. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one.